For then 200 years, treasure hunters have been focusing on Oak Island, a mystery island with a rich past. The Lagena brothers were enthused by the discovery of gold in the water and set out on a mission to find the island's hidden treasure. They searched every inch of the island, from its verdant forests to its deep swamps, looking for clues. They found an old-fashioned ladder, a secret underwater tunnel, and odd carvings and symbols. Notwithstanding obstacles like difficult terrain and erratic weather, the brothers persisted and made important discoveries in their quest for the truth. They found gold traces in timber samples extracted from boreholes, which offered hints about the island's past. Although dark legends suggested a curse protecting the Muir, the Lagena brothers' perseverance and dedication were demonstrated by the discovery of gold and ancient artifacts, which marked a turning point in their adventure. The brothers' belief in the potential to uncover the island's past propelled them through difficult times. As they carried out their research, their close relationship and common objectives gave them the courage to take on the most difficult tasks. Despite the obstacles they encounter, Rick Marty and his group have been committed to revealing Oak Island's ancient tales. Their perseverance and unwavering optimism have brought them one step closer to comprehending the intricate strata of the island, and their scientific research has produced reliable proof to back up their hypotheses. The finding of gold in wooden samples extracted from deep within the island was one notable event that not only validated the presence of lucrative resources, but also inspired a new set of excavation techniques. In order to gain important insights regarding the island's geology, history, and possible treasures, the team broadened their scientific endeavors to include soil analysis, geode IAL surveys, and other experiments. These scientific endeavors have contributed to a more thorough comprehension of Oak Island's history by providing solid data to support their views. Working together and conducting thorough study have been essential to the Lee brothers' efforts to uncover Oak Island's strata. By collaborating with professionals from around the world, such as historians, archaeologists, and metallurgists, the team has gained access to a greater variety of resources and expertise, improving their capacity to successfully address the island's complex historical issues. In conclusion, despite the difficulties they encounter, Rick Marty and his team have been committed to revealing the hidden truths beneath the island's surface. Their cooperation with specialists and commitment to their mission have made them a potent reminder of the value of maintaining optimism in the face of hardship. By working with a number of experts, Rick Lagena and his group have made great strides towards solving the Oak Island puzzle. Their work has produced new instruments and methods for delving deeper into the island's historical secret tales, bringing them one step closer to solving the enduring puzzle that has fascinated treasure seekers for many years. The advanced engineering and tenacity of individuals who attempted to safeguard or unearth the island's secret stories are highlighted by the discovery of the Smith Cove flood tunnels. Researchers and treasure hunters have also taken notice of the discovery of stone inscriptions on Oak Island that include letters, numbers, and symbols. These inscriptions imply that Oak Island may have once been visited or inhabited by people who left these perplexing signs behind, but it is still unclear what their origins and purposes were because there is no supporting evidence. Early in the 20th century, a party of treasure hunters made significant progress in their excavation of Oak Island with the construction of a coffer dam near Smith's Cove. Hunters began constructing this temporary building to control water flow and access difficult-to-reach locations for excavation. The finding of wooden frame structures and platforms beneath Smith's Cove raised numerous inquiries regarding their origins and use. The finding of historical records pertaining to Oak Island, such as maps, journals, and reports, demonstrates the continued interest in the island's complex past. Historians, treasure seekers, and inquisitive minds have
indicating that both came from southern France, where the Knights Templar were still dominant until the early 13th century. It's interesting to note that the lead in the disc and the lead in the lead cross seem to match almost exactly. The finding of the cross is another extremely important item that may link the Templars to this area. After that, everything else will fall into place. Rick, Marty, and Craig teamed up with metal detector expert Gary Drayton on Lot 5, near the center of Oak Island, to look for fresh clues near the place where 4 ancient coins were previously discovered. Rick and his team had only recently arrived at Lot 5, but they had already discovered a number of spectacular discoveries, including tools and a musket ball that may predate the 16th century. Nonetheless, they discovered a hand-forged half-coin, possibly the oldest ever created on Oak Island. Gary Drayton has received permission from archaeologist LagIna to dig up a number of metal targets that he had previously identified. Another possible historic tool was discovered. Is it possible that Gary and Rick discovered additional proof suggesting people were operating on Lot 5 prior to the discovery of the money pit? If that was the case, who was it? What were they doing in the middle of Oak Island anyway? Archaeologists LagIna and Helen Sheldon, together with Craig Tester, joined Rick, Marty, and Gary Drayton on Lot 5, located on the western side of Oak Island, to inspect a number of potentially significant discoveries. However, they contacted Sandy Campbell, a numismatic specialist, to explain everything about the coins discovered. Rick, Marty, and Craig Tester accompanied numismatist Sandy Campbell to the Interpretive Center to speak with Gary Drayton and LagIna. Using his 40 years of experience, Sandy examined the rare and antiquated coins. The crew hoped he could figure out where the 4 mystery coins recovered on Lot 5 earlier in November 2023 came from. The second coin found on Lot 5 has been proven to be more than 1,000 years old and of Roman origin. The question now is, when were they taken to Oak Island, and who had brought them there? Sandy was given the third coin for identification. The first coin discovered was an English coin, the second a Spanish coin, the third an Indian coin, and the fourth a Chinese coin. Now, who gathered all these strange and unrelated coins? The fifth coin was subsequently identified as obviously having a Roman design, indicating that it was a Roman coin. It describes a masculine portrait with a pointed chin and a larger nose, yet on the reverse, it depicts 2 conjoined people. It is the oldest coin ever discovered on Oak Island because it is most likely from BC, which means it is over 2,000 years old. Meanwhile, the puzzle is expanding. 3 Roman coins were discovered on Oak Island. If there is an ancient treasure, it may contain old items, including a component of Roman coins. In 2016, Zena Halpern shared with the team a claimed 14th century map of Oak Island that she believed was drawn by Knights Templar members, as well as a second alleged Templar map of Nova Scotia dating back to the 12th century. Since then, Rick, Marty, and other team members have visited a number of sites in Europe that served as strongholds for the Knights Templar between the 12th and 16th centuries, notably in England and Italy, both of which were originally part of the Roman Empire. And they have seen sculptures and structures comparable to those found on Oak Island in each of these locations. Could Rick Lagena be true in his claim that the ancient Roman coins were discovered on Lot 5? And do the odd buildings uncovered all around the island suggest that Zena Halpern has located the true source of the Oak Island mystery?
The Rick Lagena and his brother Marty have been featured in the series The Curse of Oak Island, which is well known for their dogged search for hidden treasures on the small island in Nova Scotia. As a result of their exploits, which have been presented on the History channels, the brothers have become well-known names in the United States. The Curse of Oak Island, just looking at it as we have it here, I'm highly skeptical just based on the construction technique that it's actually ancient too. Now in its 10th season, the show has captivated audiences around the globe, significantly boosting the Liga brothers' popularity. Marty, the older of the two, is not only a treasure hunter, but also a self-made multimillionaire. His wealth is derived from his ventures in the natural gas industry in Michigan, but his knowledge gained from engineering and law degree proved to be invaluable. When he was younger, he had the intention of attending law school, but when he started his own energy company, he found that his legal expertise was particularly useful, as he was able to save money by representing himself in legal matters. It is very evident that Marty's strategic thinking reflects both his intelligence and his ingenuity. Rick, on the other hand, comes from a very different background than his brothers, who were all born in the same town of Kingsford, Michigan. Rick took a more straightforward path, working as a U.S. postal worker upon retiring. He devoted himself fully to the treasure hunt on Oak Island, a place that had fascinated him since he was 11 years old. Although Marty was initially skeptical about the treasure's existence, these boys started digging in 1795. They get done. It's a really long story. Going to make it really short, he wanted to support his brother's lifelong ambition by providing most of the funds needed to buy a stake in Oak Island Tours Incorporated, showing his deep commitment to Rick's dream. By the close of the 5th season, the Liga brothers had uncovered various historically significant artifacts. Oak Island is a place where the history of Oak Island is shrouded in spooky tales and superstitions, making it a place where the faint-hearted might not dare to tread. The work that they do on Oak Island is not for those who are easily frightened. They face the challenges of the island in an effort to discover its legendary treasure, despite the numerous dangers that they face. These dangers include dealing with a daunting curse and encountering strange events. In a letter that Florence Eisenhower wrote to Minister Chappelle in 1915, she describes a horrific event that her grandfather spoke of involving her uncle Will Graves, who was suffering from tuberculosis and was on his deathbed. This has been described as one of the most compelling tales. Another unsettling story comes from Peggy Adams, who grew up on the island when her parents served as caretakers in the early to mid-20th century. The legacy of Oak Island is a complex tapestry of history, folklore, and ambition. For Rick and Marty Lena, it represents a lifelong commitment to solving one of the oldest treasure hunts in history. The true treasure may well be the path itself, the experiences, the collaboration, and the never-ending quest for knowledge. I wear Coes. When we view the shine of that gold and silver mate, that you might perhaps hurt your eyes, that you have to prove that you have what it takes to be successful. Gary, as the mystery surrounding Oak Island continues to unfold, viewers can only speculate about what the Liga brothers might find next. The Oak Island Crew, a popular television show, has sparked a lot of interest in the island's history and potential treasures. They have discovered old coins from the 17th century, as well as old military button coins from various locations. A fancy cross and a brooch with a ruby in it. One of the most talked about ideas is that Oak Island is hiding a pirate's treasure from the 17th century, which belonged to Captain Kidd. Back in the 19th century, some treasure hunters found a big stone in the Money Pit. A place on the island famous for treasure hunts, the stone had writing on it that said, 40 feet below 2 million pounds lie buried. Dan Blankenship, who spent more than 4 decades looking for treasure on Oak Island, had his own theory.